dreamers, and welcome back to PERLA'S Dreams. Again, guys, these are general readings, so only take whatever resonates, and please leave the rest. Taurus, this is your reading. Um, excitement, excitement. The celebration is coming in. There, you guys are getting a big break. Now, whether this break, I keep on seeing this. Hold on. And when I say big break, is like, you know how, like movie stars or singers or whatever, it's like they have that one connection like with one person, and after they connect with this one individual, everything in their life changes, right? They get casted for the correct role, and it's like the entire career changes. That's kind of like what I'm talking about. Big break is for you guys. So there's someone that you're connecting with within your field, right, career wise, that is going to the way that, okay, so it's coming up as like this energy of like somebody opening like the pearly gates, right? So when you think of like when people talk about like heaven, they talk about like these pearly gates of heavens and things like that. And heaven is supposed to be a place where you're supposed to be at complete peace and whatever. And it's almost kind of like this is the scenario that I'm picking up of somebody, like somebody is opening these pearly gates to everything that you've ever wanted, to the career that you wanted, that lifestyle that you wanted. So there is a big break coming for you guys. Now within this space, you are being told to be very careful of who it is that you are keeping within your circle, within your space. There seem to be some individuals, some people that want to leech out of what it is that you are, what it is that you're receiving, what it is that you're manifesting, however you want to word it. But there is somebody that wants some, they want to eat at your table, they want to eat some of your fruits. um Look at your table. Look at your table, and that makes sense now. All right. Look at your table and look who is sitting across from you. Look who is sitting next to you, and look who is sitting at the head of the table. If it's your table, you should be at the head of the table. You have people around you again that are they're I'm picking up this very manipulative energy of someone that wants to come and take control. Now, and I'm gonna gear out of this a little bit because this is like gonna be for a specific group of you. Some of you have an in-law, whether it is a mother-in-law, a father-in-law, whatever it is, or a sister-in-law. Someone, it's an in-law, right? That tries to call the shots in your relationship. Okay, that's interesting. It's weird that it's coming up in this energy of like the table, because I am seeing like, and this is all right. So it's almost kind of like this phase. It's like everybody's at the table, right? But it's your table, so it's like your house, your table, your whatever, and your in-law, whoever this is, whether it's mother, father, sister-in-law, brother-in-law, comes in and kind of wants to take over like the wants to take over the feast, wants to take over the table, wants to take over like who gets what. So for those of you that are dealing with an in-law like this, there has to be a complete cutting cord with this individual. Um this gets a little tricky though, because I feel that whoever you are in a relationship with, whether it's a husband or a wife, they have a very hard time standing up to this person. Now my question is, you know, this person may have a hard time because of, their blood related to that individual, whatever it is. But you chose to be a part of this family. You chose to marry this person. You chose to be with this person. So you have to decide how much you're willing to take and what it is that you're willing to take from an in-law, regardless of what it is. And for some of you, this may be something that breaks a relationship or brings a marriage or something like that into a separation, because it's like your significant other, your husband, your wife, is not standing up to this in-law, and it's almost kind of like you are at your breaking point, because again, at this point, this person wants to delegate how your table is set up and how things are divided within your table, right? So this person may have their hands in your finances and things like this. And for some of you, you're just learning that this person has been influencing your significant other when it comes to like finances and things like this. Like, they had a big part in where it is that you guys move, like the house that you guys purchase or the apartment that you guys live in, like whatever it is, like they had a huge part. They played a bigger part in all of these decisions than you did. And some of you may have kind of like taken a seat back, or may have been like, oh, but they're helping financially, or they helped us financially when we first got started. And that is beautiful and that is admirable, only if they're not asking for something in return, because you don't help someone and then expect something in return, because otherwise that is a completely different transaction. And it's like, I'm gonna, this is what I'm giving, but I need something back in return. When you're giving somebody, from like you're gifting someone something, there should be no strings attached. And I feel that you were under the impression that this was a gift, and you didn't realize that their contribution or their help into your marriage or whatever it was, the purchase or whatever, came with many, many strings attached. And now you have to make the decision whether you're going to continue to sit at your own table as a guest, or if you're going to go ahead and take that seat at the head of the table, even if that means that then all of these individuals need to be removed from the table. I don't know. That's the way that it's coming up, Taurus. So for those of you that are in that challenging situation, my heart goes out to you, and really think about like what is your own freedom worth to you? Because when you have in-laws that want to control everything and want to control every aspects of you, uh, you really don't have a say. And for some of you, you're just beginning to see that. All right, let's see. All right, so for those of you that are cutting, like, you're having this big break when it comes to your finances, when it comes to your career, there is again this sense of like moving in the shadows, moving in the darkness, keeping things on the down low, not really talking about it. There is a sense here, a lot, sometimes you have certain people that you want to vent to, or you want to speak about your celebrations with, and this and this and that. And it's like, not everybody needs to know everything. If you really desperately need to share something with somebody, either A, get yourself a therapist that you can call whenever you want to share, like good news, bad news, whatever it is, right? Or two, write it down, or voice note it to yourself, or whatever. But there has to be the space here where you're learning what things need to be shared with others and what things need to be kept to yourself, Taurus. Um, this break, or this career change, this career breakthrough that you're having, I keep on hearing, is changing your zip code. So there is a sense here of a movement. So whether this job or this career comes with a move, or is going to put you in a financially in a financial in a stable financial, what is the word, how is it, I'm trying to word, hold on, is going to give you financial stability that is going to allow you to get like that dream house, or move into that neighborhood, or move to that state, or to that country, whatever it is. Again, there seems to be this space of like, again, shh. Keep it in the download. Keep it underground. Keep it underground. And that's Mazina. Mazina, there's no need to bark, mama. I do have two dogs there behind me. They were taking naps, but she must have heard something. Um, There is, I'm moving the table, I'm moving everything. Um, what do they? This is weird. I've never seen this. Like, like a worm, right? And I'm looking at this worm, and it is like underneath like the ground, and moving from like one side, like let's say there's a worm in your backyard or whatever, and it needs to move from like the end of your backyard to like the beginning or whatever, right? And it's like, instead of coming up the ground to go through like the grass and everything, it is traveling underground, right? And this may be because it's trying to avoid predators, whatever it is. Maybe it's raining, who knows, right? But I see this worm like traveling underground to its destination, right? And it's like, nobody even knows that it's there. Nobody even knows that it exists, that what it's doing, that it's moving or anything like that. It's just freely underneath like the ground, moving around. And I was like, okay, what do they represent? And worms spiritually usually represent growth, fertility, regeneration, natural cycles, even healing in some places. So it symbolizes a cycle of life, death, and rebirth in some cultures. But what is really pulling me forth is this energy of like growth and regeneration, right? But done in secret. And what I mean by that is like, sometimes people should only have the privilege of seeing the results and not necessarily the steps that took you there, right? Not necessarily the things that you did behind the scenes to accomplish something. It is not necessarily that you need to be ashamed of them or that they were ill matter or anything like that. There are things, right, that are sacred. There are things that are meant to be experienced and celebrated just by you. So a prime example is like, I do these readings. I say what I say, but there is an aspect of this, right, that is completely off screen, right? The the energies, the deities, the angels, the guides, whatever that I connect with, right? The goddesses, everything that I connect with, right? That you guys do not see, right? There is an aspect of a relationship that I have within the spiritual realm that is privy, right, to me and them only, to those spirits, right? There are things that are sacred, right? How I set up my container, how I break down my container, all of these things are sacred, right? And you guys only get to see the byproduct of that. And that's kind of like the space the spirit is asking you to be in this time. Like, we're putting all of this into alignment. We are connecting you with all of these people, right? And or with this person that is gonna like literally fast track your career, fast track whatever it is. But you need to be in a place where you're keeping this sacred to yourself. There are things that are good to share with others if you want to manifest it, because there are certain energies that can help, right, when it comes to that. But then there's other things that are literally just between you and spirit. And a very simple example, when I was told that I was going to buy a house, I went completely silent. My kids knew what I was doing. Um, my ex-husband knew what I was doing because he was a big part of like helping me like decide like, where I wanted to move, and we have kids together. So like, he knew my kids, obviously my dogs, and my realtor, right? And the financial people that are involved with the realtor, right? And that was it. My siblings didn't know, my parents didn't know, no one knew, right? I would always say like, years back, like, oh, I'm gonna buy a house, I'm gonna buy a house, I'm gonna buy a house. But when I actually started the process of it, actually there was a few other people that I know spiritually that knew, but that was energetically like a necessity, if that makes sense, right? For those of you that understand. So there was, let's put it this way, there was a handful of people that knew what I was doing at the moment in time. Everybody else found out after the fact. The same thing was like when I bought a car. Like, I didn't announce, oh, I'm gonna go car shopping, or I didn't post my car. People didn't find out until like, I want to say like 3-4 months later, the first person like realized, oh, you got a new car. And I'm like, yeah. Like you gotta say, like, not everything needs to be shared, not everything needs to be bragged about, is what I like, the energy that I'm sensing here. So whatever this big break is for you, Taurus, you're being told to keep it under wraps and allow it to kind of like surface on its own. I really want to look into this space of, where's the deck I want to use? There's a specific deck I want to use. You are. I want to look into the space of those of you that are dealing with controlling in-law. Um, what is what is it that we have within this space? What should we be looking at within this space, right? Oh, sure. I just noticed my page broke, and I don't think I have another one. I don't know. All right. All right. Let's go ahead and see what do we have within this space. Um, Unfortunately, there is this so we have the Eight of Cups in the reverse with the Seven of Pentacles. And again, guys, I read these intuitively. They come in as like a, they kind of form like their own little storyline. We have the Five of Swords with the Dream Protector in the upright. And then give me two more, Spirit. Apologies if my curly hair was in the way. So I actually got three. So we have the Hangman, the Serpent Soul, and the Dream Carrier. Right? And what I'm seeing here is like somebody has, so you, whoever you are, right, have seen the patterns and have seen the behaviors of these in-laws. And you have tried to talk to your significant other in regards to the situation, but there seems to be like no change or no movement. Some of you have said before that you're walking away if there's no change. You're walking away if your significant other does not stand up to this in-law. But there has been no actual, there's never been any action behind your words. It's just kind of like you have been using this kind of like as a, like you have been threatening, trying to manipulate the situation, and this situation doesn't need necessarily so much manipulation, but boundaries and action behind your words is what I'm picking up. I feel that your significant other doesn't believe you when you say that you're going to walk away from this. They feel that you are very much under their control, whether it is that you, like, they are like the breadwinner, right? Whether they're female or male, it doesn't matter. But there's just there's some type of feel here of somebody feeling very secure in the fact that you're not going to walk away. And then you are here in a space of like, I feel like you have reached your limit when it comes to this in-law. I feel like you've reached your, like, I don't think you can handle anymore when it comes to like how much input or how much control they have in the situation. And speaking from personal experience where I've had in-laws that did put their 2 cents into my relationship with my ex, right? And unfortunately, him and I didn't see things the same way. We didn't have the same perception, right, when it came to the advice, right? And we're going to put it in quotation because that's the way that he views it, right? There were advice that were given to him and advice that he followed. And for some of us, when you have certain discernment and you see beyond the veil, and you see certain things and you see the patterns of things, it is very hard to unsee it. It is very hard to stay within those situations. So, I honestly, I can say I'm in a place where our relationship is probably the best it has ever been, and we're not romantically involved, right? So our parts, right, in our within our lives were to come together, create life. We created 4 beautiful, amazing children, and we have 2 dogs together, and celebrate and be in that space of celebrating that. But everything else we have to walk our own path, and that is perfectly fine. So we're still, in a sense, like, let's put it this way, we're still a family even though we're not together, right? Because the family is not just the fact that we were together, like, romantically or anything like that. It's the fact that we came together and built something, right? We created life. So we're forever bonded in that way. So we're forever going to be family, just not romantically involved. I don't know if that makes sense. And I feel that some of you need to hear this, that it is possible, right, to have that relationship with an ex, right, to have that relationship with somebody, even though you're not with them anymore. You can still be in good terms with them. Yeah, the beginning of it may not be so easy. There may be rough patches or whatever. And again, we have completely different views in life. We have completely different perceptions in life. We believe in completely different things when it comes to like religious or religion and spirituality. We walk two completely different paths. But one thing is certain, our kids always come first, right? And that's kind of like what a lot of you are afraid of. Maybe if you have children with this person, or you have pets with this person, or you have property, it's almost kind of like there is a fear here of like losing it all, or this person taking everything away from you. um I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm not going to tell you leave this person if they don't set boundaries, leave this person if they don't stand up for you or whatever. All I am saying is that you and only you know how much you can take within the situation that you're in right now. And some of you are looking for the space of like, well, are they going to change? I don't see that in the cards. I don't see that in the water. I don't see that within the space at this moment in time. I feel that this person is very much under the clutch of whoever this in-law is. This person um has a lot of influence around your significant other. So if you want change, unfortunately, that is only going to come through by you removing yourself from this family, in the sense of like cutting certain cords. And it may be for some of you like divorce, and maybe a friendship between you and your significant other is what is best for both of you, so that you don't have to live under someone else's rule or influence, or however you want to word it. All right, so let's go ahead and let's pull out an oracle card for Taurus. The mural number 25. Be your own first priority. Um, be your own first priority. Whatever you're currently grappling with, you must put yourself first. When you are on an airplane, they always tell you to put your own oxygen mask before you try to help your neighbor with theirs. Excuse me. That is to say, if you don't make sure your own energy bar is full, then you'll have no energy to give to someone else. Be brave enough to admit when you need to take a step back from the demands of others and work on making sure you're okay. So it is plain and simple that a lot of you really, you need to know when you've had enough. You need to know what it is and who it is that you need to prioritize. And at this moment in time, you're being asked, as always, to prioritize yourself. Now, remember, guys, when you prioritize yourself, it's not that you're neglecting those around you. It's not that you're not being there for those around you. It is just that in order for you to be there for those around you, in order for you to be of service to those that are around you, you yourself need to be filled, because you can't give from an empty cup. Well, guys, that is all that I have for you at this moment in time. As always, thank you for all your love and support. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing to the channel. And if you haven't done so, go ahead and do so. We would love to have you. Sending every single one of you love, strength, and blessing, guys. Take care. Love you. Bye-bye.